Hello Capricorn, and welcome to Sincere Tarot. This is your What Do You Need to Know for April tarot reading, and your energy is the Three of Pentacles. So this often can represent work, maybe investments, but it can also sometimes represent a particular relationship, a very important one. Sometimes to me it can represent like seeing a particular blind spot. Anyways, what does Capricorn need to know for mid-April? Interesting. All right, yeah. I think for most of you it is going to be something to do with work for the most part. All right, so this is the energy we've got in the past is the Knight of Swords. So this has something to do with something you have been thinking about a lot. You've been really focused on it. You've been very excited. The swords can represent like if this is work or a relationship, it has to do with like communication. Sometimes it can represent like social media, sometimes defense and law as well. So it could be something that you're kind of involved with that, like you're past the novice stage, but you're like in the apprenticeship stage. So you right now are coming up as a Three of Pentacles. So you are totally like top of your game, super focused when it comes to like money, upgrading your skill set, things like that, or just like working magic maybe with a particular relationship. But there's something that you're going through that is very transformative. Now, because this is often a very good card, it's a difficult one, but it's worth it in the end. Like, it's almost like, when a caterpillar becomes that like soupy mush before it is transformed into a butterfly. So this is like the pupae stage where it's, am I saying that right? The cocoon stage where you're completely just like the old you is dying and it's going to make way for like something new. Like you're being transformed into a new person and a new part of your life, right? But it's like before you're born into this newness, like it can be difficult. Birth is painful for anyone who knows about that. But this has something to do with like, I feel like you're getting a lot more stability and structure in your life. And if this is to do with a relationship, the energy might be that like the old way that the relationship used to be is dying, because now you're going to like upgrade and level up and have a much higher level of security. So that can sometimes represent like buying a house together, or it can be, like actual marriage. If this has to do with work, it can represent that the novice stage is kind of over for you and you're getting a permanent contract, or you're a lot more secure with your funds, things like that. And the outcome is we've got the King of Wands. So you're going to eventually master a creative project. This can also represent potentially like a partner of yours who's a fire sign. Gender doesn't matter. They've got a masculine energy at this point. But most likely are male, to be honest. But this can be like that you're mastering your intuition as well. So the thing that's kind of changing, this is cool, I like this, is that I feel like you've always had enough. Like, okay, one, you always will have enough, but you might eventually get more in a way. You're not going to be living a life where, you're just getting by. I think this transformation might be that part of your life is finishing and you're going to prosper and get a lot more. Also, I feel like you're going to be extremely direct with the way that you communicate with people and to the point. Just be careful you're not a little bit too hard. Let's get some clarification cards so I can give you a little bit more detail. So clarification cards for Capricorn. Interesting. All right, and I would be careful with communication, because I feel like sometimes, even though you're right, it doesn't mean that it's going to stop any arguments. So just think about like what if you need to say things, like versus so like just because something's true doesn't mean you should say it, if that makes sense. Because I feel like you might kind of upset people sometimes in that way, even though you're right, which is annoying. The truth can hurt, but sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, so what's the point of telling them that? You know what I mean? I feel like, this is something to do with some sort of like project or a relationship where when you were younger, obviously, like you were very new and but you've come quite a long way. I feel like you've done an amazing job considering like the current like economic surroundings and circumstances, whether this is a relationship or work. And by the way, it might not be a romantic relationship, okay? Yeah, but you've been working wonders and like keeping your life together, which is really hard to do at times. Yeah, I feel like this is more than just like a passionate kind of fling, whatever this is, if it's work or a person. I feel like the way that you think about things is going to change. And also I feel like you have been through many stressful things in your life, and you have come through like most of the difficult things that you're ever going to go through. So things will be easier. It's not that life gets easier necessarily, it's that your way of thinking and processing this information and potentially like communicating with people and just your belief system is going to make life easier. So it's like getting the terrain is still rough, but you're getting a much better quality vehicle. So it's kind of like that. I feel like there might be, let me just get one more card for this one. Okay, so again, you're always going to have enough, but there's still some mental blocks that you deal with. And just know that whenever you feel like, because things didn't go in this particular way, it's not going to go the way that I want at all, not necessarily, right? You are still going to struggle a little bit with like limiting beliefs and expressing yourself, okay, to others. Like you might understand yourself, it doesn't mean other people do. So I would just be really careful with communication, with work, with relationship, with both, okay? You have worked really, really hard on yourself and finances and things like that, and you just continue to work hard. Like you're doing an amazing job. Let's get some advice cards for this situation. Okay, so yeah, a little bit more advice about this is good. So, and also just kind of like maybe thinking a little bit more positively, easier said than done, but if you do like a gratitude journal or just think like 10 things a day or more, you can do morning and evening if you want, of just like 10 things that you're grateful for, and it'll help you see kind of that you have it a lot better than you realize. So like changing your mindset is really good. All right, so the first advice card is that when you do communicate with someone, you can still communicate from a place of strength, but just like one thing at a time. So just like if you've got like 10 problems with someone or with something at work or whatever, just pick the one thing that's actually super important and only talk about that. You might want to send someone a message as well that's extremely direct and to the point. And you might want to try and look at something in a new way. All right. Second advice card, we have got the Four of Wands. You might want to hang out at your home a little bit more or go home for a visit, whatever that means. If there are some family members or friends that feel like family, that make you feel more grounded, you might want to kind of connect with them a little bit if you can. Third advice card, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. So that total security that you are looking for, that you desire with work, relationships, where you live, etc., is coming, right? It's just that it's not necessarily going to be the nicest terrain to get there, but you're still getting there. Fourth advice card, we've got the World. So you celebrate how far you've come so far. And for those of you who've moved to a new country and things like that, like pat yourself on the back, okay? Because it's not always easy. And just celebrate how far you've come so far. You might want to go on a holiday if you can as well. If you'd like a private reading, send me an email or check out my website. That's all in the description below. You can also follow me on social media. Please do comment below if this reading resonated with you. And if you're still here, secret bonus card. Oh yeah, so if there's a Three of Wands, if there's something you've been thinking about doing in a new direction that you've been wanting to go, like now's the time to make those first steps. Okay, you've done enough preparation. Now, baby steps. You got this. Have a great month. Bye.